Welcome in, everybody. It is finally the Dynasty Hour, the only show that we start at the bottom of the hour. I thought about that. I told my friend the other day that, yeah, they're like,
that's almost as good as my opening line from the Divots and Pivots show last night, where I just said, "Is it just me, or do I have one ear that's more dominant than the other?" Just left it at that.
And I do. I have one, man. Like I have one. Like I straight up told him, Amy, where she sleeps next to me at night, don't say shit to me. Like once you hear these boys go click clack, my eyes don't work. My ears barely work. Like I just like don't try to communicate with me at all. Like I can't even read your lips at that point. Yeah, but like my buddy asked, he's like, "Well, what time's your podcast?" And I was like, 9:30 Eastern. He's like, "You're called Dynasty Hour? That's at 9:30." And I'm like, "It's not sexy, but it's what we got." You know,
it focus grouped well. What do you want from us?
Yeah, exactly.
It focus grouped well. That's amazing.
Well, as always, my name is Jagger. You could see me everywhere these days, Fantasy Blue Chip. Just on Twitter. I'm just posting
guys everywhere.
It was like, yeah, where you at? Twitter. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna give you links, you know. Justin, we're at SimTexMex93, also known as Fantasy Jesus. His hair looks lush today. And then
magnificent.
we have the neutral Mr. NFL, Chuck Bass, host of This Guy Sucks and another fantasy show along with me. And then there's Andrew Leduc, Mr. Mallard, bringing sophistication. And who needs a backup QB, right? Is that a Patriots joke? I don't know.
It sure really is. Sad. You know it.
We're going to talk dynasty trades, or excuse me, sell high, which means trade. Before we go, let's talk about our quick takes. This isn't going to be quick. This is sad. Anthony Richardson is on season-ending IR. Before Andrew depresses the shit out of us about some medical bullshit, nerdy stuff, let's just talk about what he was doing. he was like the QB, like a top 8 QB in points per game, and he barely finished games. Like you want to talk about Konami code? Everything was fucking beautiful. I'm still all in. Again, I don't until his knees start doing weird shit and he turns 27. I'm willing to roll with it. I don't really give a shit.
Yep.
Where are you at, Chuck?
As far as like my level of sadness?
Yeah. Emotionally, I guess too. Where are you at there, and with Anthony Richardson, and then where are you at with Minshew Mania? Are you at like a full chub? Are you flaccid? Where you at?
This is tough because I'm always full chub, but mentally, this one's pretty tough for me because the only thing I wanted for Anthony Richardson this year, the only thing I wanted was the reps. I just wanted the experience. I knew he was going to be the guy. I didn't know he was going to be like the guy immediately, but I knew it was coming. So I just wanted to bang the games out, rep him up, right? It's gone. So all we know is that a year from now, we'll be exactly where we are. Hopefully maybe a little better if he's able to develop a little bit more feel for the game. I'm out on Minshew Mania. I'm starting the Browns defense next week and every league that I possibly can. I love the guy. I'm happy he's out there, but I think that the Colts coaching staff will rein in that tankathon, 2020 Minshew we saw from the Jags and kind of make things a little bit more the Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor show.
You're on mute, Jagger. But I'll jump in here because I agree. Gardner Minshew mania is I'm off that train as well. But I think it could have been more perfect timing for Jonathan Taylor to be coming back and hitting back to his stride here, though, because they are just going to lean on him now. He's going to go right back to what he used to be. The only problem is that teams will also know that. So we'll see what his production looks like, but he's going to go right back to the amount of touches and opportunities he had. So Jonathan Taylor is the big winner here in my eyes.
Ooh, no Zach Moss even mentioned from you.
No.
I mean, I think they're both relevant at this point because, like you said, I don't know at what point I said this week. I say a lot of shit. I said that essentially TSS Dynasty Hour is full of Chubb. Oh, I love the pun.
Good answer.
I love the pun. Yeah, I think nothing changes of the weapons in this offense. Nothing changes for them. I think that if anything, we're going to see an uptick in rushing, and I think that Gardner Minshew is a better passer at this point, at least in the the intermediate range. So the pass catchers are already seeing that benefit, and then we're going to just see more rushing because we're like I looked at the pace right now, the splits between Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew, and pretty much everything's the same as far as rushing. It's just you take away Anthony Richardson's rushing and you split it up between Zach Moss and JT. But I'm sad. I have a lot of rosters where I was counting on Anthony Richardson. I took a blow where I lost Anthony Richardson and Justin Jefferson. But I think he's a buy at this point. Let's just say that he is a dynasty buy. So, Justin, you haven't had your 2 cents. Do you think he's a buy?
No, I think it's a sell. But I've been saying that for the past 3 weeks or so. So why would I change my stance on that?
Mute him. Mute him.
Listen. I had him in
Justin, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Redraft league.
I can hear you, Justin.
Damn, was I full Chubb through freaking 2 weeks, and then God damn if this man doesn't get injured every time he steps out on the field. And I'll tell you what, you can mute me all you want, but I'm just spewing the truth here, my friends. You got to take the advantage. You got to go out there and sell him. I sold him for 2 first-round picks. You can too, and go out and get yourself a quarterback that's going to rely on more than just his legs to get it done, and or can squat 600 pounds because that helps too when you have to rely on your legs.
Not that big. I mean, that's a fixable thing,
yourself?
and he's got a massive arm, which we already saw.
That massive arm is now getting surgically, it's getting fixed over here. So
they have the technology. They can repair him.
All right, $6 million man. All right.
I mean, roughly, he kind of is.
Worth
if
more
you
than
really
$6 million at some
think
point.
about it.
What was that, Jack?
I think that if you're looking, I think we can all agree that he showed us enough from his arm to be confident moving forward. Although I don't entirely agree with the selling price that you're talking about, Justin. I think that's pretty fair.
Well, what don't you agree about the price? Do you think it should be up?
No, I agree.
Oh, okay.
I just wouldn't do it, but if I was going to do it, I think that's acceptable.
I mean,
yeah.
I just think right now we just buy Konami code quarterbacks low, especially when, and like Chuck said, we've seen enough from his arm already that he looks a lot better than most project QBs, and we've already seen at this point. And like we kind of already, we're going to talk about this. Actually, this is a perfect segue. Kyler Murray is the next piece of news. He's coming back right now. How sweet does it look that all your rosters that you bought Kyler Murray low, where everyone says he's never going to play he's never going to play for the Cardinals again. He's going to play Call of Duty for a living. He's 27 and plays video games, so he doesn't care about football. It's the dumbest shit on the planet. Like, I just feel like sometimes we pick these crazy narratives and it's just straightforward. Like, I put out a clip, whatever, where I use like Moneyball. He gets on base. Okay, it's like we're saying with David Montgomery. The dude gets on base. With all the other shit, it'll work out. It'll work out. It'll be fine. But he gets on base.
I mean, I'm getting excited for Kyler Murray coming back because we're about to see his sell window open up, and that's exciting. Because I'll be looking if he comes back and has 1 or 2 good games, I'm a sell right away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited too. I picked him up on a redraft league in which I had Anthony Richardson in, had to cut him, replaced him with Kyler Murray on my IR spot. Now I'm sitting pretty for the next 2 weeks when he decides to come back, because now they've decided Josh Dobbs is not it for the rest of the season, which, I mean, we kind of figured that was going to happen. So, yeah, I'm very excited for Kyler Murray to come back. And like you said, sell windows just opened up. And I said it last week, you know, you got to always take advantage of what's cooking right now. Is it the buy or is it the sell that's cooking? For Anthony Richardson, it's the sell that's cooking. Nobody's going to give you Anthony Richardson for a first-round pick and a handshake. That's just not going to happen. I'm so sorry. I hate to be the guy to give you that information, but that's just not going to happen. And you think you can get away with giving him a bad quarterback and a first-round pick? Exactly. I've been muted this whole time. But
I heard that.
That's kind of how I look at Kyler Murray. You know, let him open up his own sell window, like Andrew said, and then take it.
Okay, like I was just gonna ask, do you think Kyler Murray's a better quarterback than Josh Dobbs?
Yes. In the long run, yes.
Okay. So if you know that he's a better quarterback, let me ask my next question. Do you think that they're going to get Caleb Williams?
No.
Okay. So that's why you should just keep Kyler Murray. I just feel like I made my point there.
Okay, so
he's going to be the guy. He's a Konami code quarterback.
So then your basis is that you just trust the Cardinals then, and that coaching staff and everything else around it. You just trust the Cardinals. Okay.
Are we raising? I'm raising my hand as that. Absolutely.
And I'm not saying I necessarily don't. I just want to make that clear that if you're going with that logic, then you basically are saying that you trust that coaching staff and those players around him to make it worth his while to be out there.
I think Michael Wilson is a good wide receiver. I think that Marquise Brown proves every week that he's a decent wide receiver. I think that we've seen that Cliff Kingsbury is the biggest fraud in the NFL that we've probably ever seen. That you go from Texas Tech that you are mediocre at, and then you go straight to the NFL. And then we see firsthand that he is not a leader of men. If you watch that Puff piece on Netflix about Urban Meyer, the person who looked the worst was Cliff fucking Kingsbury. He's awful. And we see that from time and time again. Then we see Jonathan Gannon come in, and then we already see a competitive team when it's at its worst. And then we have a quarterback that's eager to get back, probably ready to buy in. I don't hear Budda Baker ready to go anytime soon now that he sees that this team could be competent. It just doesn't, like, why? Like, have you guys looked at quarterback here lately? We had Daniel Jones as a top 12 quarterback right now, and he's barely, I think he's outside of the top 24. It's just, it's not good at all. Like, who are you trading these quarterbacks for? That is my question. That's why, like, to me, it's easy to say, like, we'll trade him. And so you can get what? Justin Fields, who, and I'm one of the biggest Fields guys around. I don't think that Justin Fields is worth trading Kyler Murray for. So that's why I think we're a little crazy to say, like, just trade Kyler Murray. It makes zero sense to me. Sorry.
I think we definitely get out of control with a lot of narratives. I mean, that's the whole beast of it, right? Like,
I just think we're late. We're a little late to the buy window was 3 months ago, maybe, before we all thought. Yeah, for sure. We're just a little off on that one, but I think the sentiment's right.
And I told you guys, I made a dumbass TikTok months ago. I said, stop fading Kyler Murray. I told you guys. And, like, now look at you. You know?
Get your broke ass.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got a trade question in the chat here. Would you sell Kyler for a 2024 first and David Montgomery? His QBs are Goff, Stroud, and Howell.
I would just trade Howell for David Montgomery and keep your first. Or just just get David or let them keep their first. To me, it's one of these guys doesn't belong, and it's Hal. So to make you stay, I'm going to leave it at that. Because we're going to talk about Hal in just a minute.
I feel like you take that, right?
You're going to trade Kyler for a first rounder and David Montgomery.
Yeah, if you've got Goff and Stroud, I like Goff just as much as I like Kyler for the next several years, and Stroud is the best quarterback in the trade.
But why wouldn't you just try to trade Howell and David Montgomery straight across? I'm assuming this is super flex because the amount of quarterbacks you had rostered, and then you can just not trade
he doesn't have Howell. He doesn't have David Montgomery. He has Kyler.
I know. That's why I'm saying keep Kyler and then trade Howell and get David Montgomery. I'm just saying, don't trade Kyler at all and just trade the bad quarterback off your roster. Now you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I like the idea of getting a first and David Montgomery, all for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I'm okay with that deal.
I'd like to know if he's winning. I'd like to know how good his team is and if he's winning.
That's what I'm saying. Is it a late first? That motherfucker ain't real. Let us know. We got to know.
See, I'm imagining if he's trading for Montgomery, he's probably trading to continue to be a contender.
Yeah, I would assume he's contending right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a logical move for David Montgomery to be your future player. You want to win if you're getting David Montgomery right now. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'd throw Goff in there. I'd throw Goff in there, and I'd fucking see if he'd take that. Keep Kyler, Stroud, and Howell.
I don't mind that either.
Goff is put that back up, Chuck.
My bad.
Yeah,
My bad.
Put that back up real quick. The order of the quarterbacks that I would trade this in is Howell, Goff, Stroud, and then Kyler. Swap that. Kyler and then Stroud. That's the order for me. And like I said, you could counter or send another trade. Let's just you may not get the first, but if you're trying to win, just get David Montgomery and then keep a high upside quarterback. Big time win.
Big time win now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Try and feed into the Goff hype. He's really not as good as he looks.
Hoove too.
Yeah, he does look good. What's up, Hoove?
Okay. The next two things, Justin Fields out, but just for a game. Don't get fucking crazy about Tyson Bagent. Calm down. So let's just move on.
Teabag?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Exactly. Let's just shove past that one. Kyren Williams is out. This is significant. That's why I just wanted to shove through the Fields thing. And we're going to talk about Kyren Williams more. Y'all love him. Y'all regular folks that keep people like me employed. We love you all, but you guys love the fuck out of Kyren.
Blue collar 9-to-5ers love Kyren Williams.
Yeah. America's backbone loves Kyren Williams.
See, I just love him because I was on him last year and it didn't pan out. I thought he'd have a pop at the end of the season. And I wanted to be more. So when he had it this year, I got a little blinded.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I watched the game last week, and I was like, he kind of looked good. It wasn't he looked much better than what I've seen him. He looked explosive. One particular move, he cuts he's gonna go out of bounds, and then it wasn't shifty, but it was a really efficient maneuver to use his blocker and then gain another 10 yards up the field. It was really nice to see. Yeah. So I am still sell Kyren, and god damn it, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But I think he's better than what I thought that he was, if that makes sense. But we'll keep it.
I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, Kyren Williams is out now. It's Chuck. We talked about this in another fantasy show. Mm-hmm. Who do you want in this Rams backfield? I'll let you answer.
I want the Matthew Stafford over on completions every game because it's the Puka Cup show, and maybe even Atwell. I didn't put a single bid in on a Rams running back this week, and I'm happier because of it. Because you alluded to something that I think is very right. Kyren was thought by all to be like what we think the next couple of guys are going to be like, when in reality, he showed growth as a running back, which I think is something that's very rare from year 1 to year 2, even year 3, year 4. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's very surprising. I don't think that trend continues. I think that he is maybe bucking the trend a little bit. So I'm patiently sitting this one out, and if I'm wrong, so be it. But I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I
Chuck's
agree.
got a diplomatic way of saying you don't want any of these running backs. They're all fucking terrible. Zach Evans. It took an apocalypse to get Zach Evans on the field. Think about that. Like, you know how many things had to happen for Zach Evans to get on that field? Like, I wish that was a prop bet. Like, will Zach Evans get snaps? And then you look at it, you're like, like we gotta have a Haley's Comet come through for it to happen. And then lo and fucking behold, Justin, where are you at? Yeah, like, do you like Zach Evans? Or do you think there's going to be a number 1? Daryl Henderson's back. That's a thing.
Him and Royce Freeman. Watch out.
Yeah, I was about to say, did I slip and fall?
You know what? Don't forget Myles Gaskin is in the picture too.
Oh, actually, believe it or not,
now
I think Myles Gaskin might be
2018.
Myles Gaskin might be the best running back on that team. I'm not lying at all. Like,
very possible.
They could easily pull a Cardinals, and Damian Williams off the practice squad Sunday morning to be number 2 in touches. So,
yeah.
So I never put any bids in for Zach Evans or whatever the hell this guy's name is. I just said to myself, fuck it. I'm gonna roll with what I got, because this Rams offense has been, like Chuck said, all Cooper Kupp all day long. Puka Nacua all day long. Kyren Williams, you guys are impressed by him? I'm not impressed at all by him. Dude, this guy's just been a product of good touches. He's been a product of okay, like, red zone touches. When you really look at the quality of games that he's had, he's averaged below 4.0 yards more times than he's averaged above it. So that's kind of like where I'm looking at this. I'm like, man, this guy is maybe just a product of, getting good volume touches and fucking having, the ability to, I guess, find the end zone. At one point that was a Todd Gurley specialty when he was in Atlanta too. He just found the end zone and he had a good fantasy season, even though everybody knew he was poop. But yeah, I love this as a sell, because after this week, we will officially know if it's the Rams or if it's Kyren Williams. And I don't want to be there when people find out that it's the Rams.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Darnell Henderson's going to come on and he's going to go for 100 yards.
I don't even fully agree with you, but I love the take, and now I'm kind of rooting for that take.
Yeah, and because you spilled the fucking beans. Did I put the wrong thing again? You spilled the beans. We're gonna pay the bills, and then we're gonna come back and we're just gonna go right into why you should trade Kyren Williams, because he was spitting facts that I was gonna talk about. Blah blah blah. Roll the tape.
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever, and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code TSSDYNASTY to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
Good girl. Make sure to use your code, and make sure to like and subscribe and do all the stuff that makes the numbers go black. And we're just going to hop right back into Kyren Williams. Like Justin said it, he had a terrible rushing yards over expected, like not very good. Like he could have gotten better, but again, guys, like when we say you got better, it's like I've only got a little bit of cancer now, or something. Like, that's dramatic. I should have said
that. That's like Randy Marsh. Just gonna get a little bit of cancer, son.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
Hey, can you give me a beer, Stan?
Oh
That's
man,
amazing.
I'm glad I get this out of my system now and not in like a morning show or something where I get paid to do it. Yeah, he's not good. Or he's okay. And again, we've seen this before. I know Chuck has made this point. I'm pretty sure on the show before. I know I've made this point about untrustworthy coaches. When it comes to running backs, Sean McVay is the most untrustworthy guy. Like Daryl Henderson looked really good too. You remember that guy? You guys remember Cam Akers? He looked pretty damn good for a little bit. And then where are those guys now? Daryl Henderson's off the couch. Cam Akers is apparently holding Anthony Madison's water, or or something. It doesn't make any sense.
I will say,
Andrew,
Daryl Henderson 4 days ago signed a deal with the Arlington Renegades of the XFL, and then just got offered the job to come back to the Rams 3 days later. So that's where he's at.
He would be the best running back in the XFL. I'm not gonna lie. He'd probably like annihilate. Like he probably
Guy might have a shot.
good. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think The Rock needs any more money, and we either make that thing something real and call it not the XFL. It just sounds stupid as hell. And just gonna say, like the usual contrarian. Do you think there's anything to salvage here with Kyren? Because let's say another thing. He's out. Yes. But to me, he's even lost the value that he had as a redraft asset now, like a season long thing that it's still a sell window. Someone's still going to say, well, Kyren Williams, blah, blah, blah. You're just a hater analyst and your numbers, fuck you, blah, blah. And then they're going to buy him. Like, do you think that he's good? I want someone to give me a different answer, even if you got to make it up. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, geez. Look, I think he's good. I think he's at this point served his purpose for this year, if that makes sense. Because I think I'm just double checking his. I was hoping you kept talking here. I'm double checking his schedule because I believe his strength of schedule actually gets tougher here as well. So I think even for this year, he even in redrafts he falls into a sell window for me. So it's just with the way the running back landscape is right now, he's definitely a sell because you got to take the value of anybody you can get at the chance you can, and he's going to be at his highest value right now. Even being out this week, everyone I think knows it's only for a week. So even being out for a week, don't be shy. You can still get good value for him.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, looking on Keep Trade Cut right now, Roshan Johnson's after him. Deontay Johnson's after him. Jahan Dotson, and this is Dynasty, is after him. Like, there's a lot of players that you could get multiple of. Kyren has 2 games of over 20 rushes in his last 3 games. Does anyone else even come close to that? See what I'm saying? I'm just.
Well, that's interesting though. Is that
it's volume?
Is he asking is anyone else on the Rams going to come close to that? Because I would say no, right? I would be shocked if anybody else sniffed that.
But if I know we're chasing volume, but I'm talking about in Dynasty though. Like you got to think long term. By the time he comes back, you're only going to have a little bit of season left, and you probably already needed to replace that production. And now when people still think that he's good, you can go ahead and recoup value that is either going to increase or at least hold in the future. Like I said, Jahan Dotson is good. Sam Howell is just bad. And you see how I segued into my next guy. Sam Howell is an example of someone where we're seeing fantasy production. Yes. And then you heard me talk about how bad quarterbacks are. And Sam Howell is putting up 3 games of 20 plus points. But in Dynasty, we have to be smarter than redraft, or not just so much smarter, but we have to think longer term because we have bigger consequences for investing in these players. So we should move them when we can. And again, you're just making your team better in the long run is what I'm getting at. Like Kyren Williams is RB16 right now in Keep Trade Cut. That's pretty high. And to go into Sam Howell, he's QB 19. So, Chuck, are you a Sam Howell truther?
I'll use your segue ability and I'll piggyback off that just to let people know to end 2022, Cam Akers had finishes of RB7, RB23, RB23, RB1, RB14, RB10. Does Cam Akers even seem like he has a future in the league? Sell Kyren Williams and sell him for as much as you can sell him for. Sam, you know what's interesting about Sam Howell is that nobody thinks he's him more on every play than he does. It's a level of ability. It's astounding the level of I'm about to win the game on this throw right now. Let me try and get out of this sack.
I would argue Mac Jones feels that way more than Sam Howell does, but that's another subject.
Mac Jones might be up there. Sam Howell is, I would say, and this is interesting in parallel to the Anthony Richardson Konami code conversation we had right now. Like, this is a guy who's having a fantasy moment, but I don't think has a long-term path in the league coming. I would absolutely sell as high on him as you can, just because we're seeing an influx of these guys who rely completely on just kind of like insanity with their arm and don't really have like the legs. And I don't mean legs, like physically legs, like the foundational pieces to their game to last long-term, to where somebody like Anthony Richardson, regardless of who he has around him, is always going to have a baseline level of success in the league. The Sam Howells come and go, and they come and go regularly, especially now in the pass-happy offense that we're talking about in 2023 and beyond. Plus, I think we're looking at a regime change coming here in Washington, whether it's Bieniemy taking over or maybe they even clean house. I'm not sure. Maybe Bieniemy moves on to somewhere else. They're a mess. I know they just won last week in Atlanta, but it looked bad, and every one of their wins and losses have looked bad. So I would try and recoup as much value for Sam Howell as you possibly can.
And
it's
just
one of
to
those
throw
failing.
I would say just to throw in there,
situation.
Just to throw in there his schedule too coming up. He has that late week 14 bye, and then he immediately starts the fantasy playoffs with 2 road games, one at the Rams and one at the Jets. So, and then even after that, even his 2 home games, if you even make it that far in the playoffs after that, are still 2 very down matchups. So, Sam Howell, I think, even if he gets you to the playoffs this year, he's not going to help you in it.
And because like something that Chuck said, the Sam Howells come and go. I'm going to set you up, Justin. I'm going to take what he said, and then I'm going to run with it a little bit, and I'm going to give you a little option here. I'm going to name 3 quarterbacks, and then I want you to tell me what they remind you about with Sam Howell. Blake Bortles, Jameis Winston, and Baker Mayfield. Like, when it comes to fantasy production, what does that remind you of?
Huge upside with a ton of interceptions.
Garbage time, baby. Yeah, it's garbage time. It's like you're always playing from behind, and like he has like a 9-6 interception ratio right now, and I know I can reduce that down, but I'm not going to right now.
Yeah.
Smart.
It's it's not good, guys. Like it's just not good, And like I said, I got a whole thing about it, and it's one of those things where it's empty stats. And then we already have a larger sample size that say that Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson are good. And then when your best players aren't getting the ball, and then your check down players are getting the ball more often, it's kind of telling. Like anytime Jahan Dotson or Terry McLaurin gets the ball, it's like what Chuck said. Like he's just like, fuck it, this is gonna be amazing, and then it happens to be amazing. At that point, Jahan Dotson is like an excellent jump ball guy. So, you're not a truther, are you? Are you, Justin? Are you a Sam Howell truther?
No. His story arc kind of seems like Gardner Minshew. There's a lot of hype behind it. People can get behind him because they feel like he's like the everyday guy. But then at the end of the day, he's just going to be a backup in this league for a long, long time. And he'll get his shots every now and then. But, there's nothing more to Howell than the fact that they don't want to go to Jacoby Brissett just yet.
That's a better comp. Because like I say that he's like Jameis Winston and Blake Bortles without the draft capital. Nailed it. Gardner Minshew didn't have draft capital either. It's the same situation. It's like, okay, you're here until
he was just kind of thrown into it. It was a shitty organization. He was just kind of thrown into it.
It's an amazing comp because right now through 6 games, Sam Howell and Gardner Minshew have the exact same EPA per drop back. So that's right on the money.
Yeah, I was about to, yeah, like to me that is like I'm pissed that I already shot my short for it because I would have used that. I would have stolen that from you right away.
Fantasy Jesus speaks again.
Hey, just quote
on
Fantasy
Sam
Jesus
Howell,
in it, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Guys, this is another one that the humble folks at home, like this nation's backbone, Derrick Henry, guys, like this, especially in Dynasty, you gotta sell him in Dynasty.
Bye-bye.
Redraft, I get it if you want to hold on a little bit, and if you're win now, he's fucking toast, man. Tajay Spears is, and Justin, I'm coming right back to you right here because Tajay Spears made you look stupid as hell. You don't need ACLs. You don't need ACLs, Justin. You're silly. What do you know about medicine?
No, yeah, this is a good time. This is a good time for me to clear the air here, guys. The whole time we were talking about Trevon Burks, I got the names mixed up. I was talking about Tajay Spears. That's a complete blunder on
that's what it was.
I got you.
Complete blunder on my behalf, and I just want to apologize to everybody out there for that one.
Oh, yuck. Sorry, who?
What?
I
Sorry, that was pretty harsh for me.
She right?
I totally agree with that.
I was about to say,
yeah.
I was about to say, like,
move.
I think that's pretty even because, like, I think Rashee Rice is in the perfect system for him. Like, I literally said, like, he couldn't have gotten drafted to a better place. Yeah. They don't ask the receivers to do a whole lot, and like, I'm starting to believe the narrative that he got hurt his senior year and didn't look quite as good and quite as explosive because he looks great now. Like, he is the best wide receiver I have seen on this team since Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill.
Until today.
Just saying he's. Oh
yeah, Nicole Hardman's back, baby. Nicole Hardman's baby.
He didn't even make the show sheet. Like, that trade happened while I was making the show sheet, and I'm like, I think we're good. You know. Oh yeah, Titans offense. That's like Tajay Spears is back to what. Thank you for bringing us back. Thanks for bringing us back. Like, Tajay Spears is the only thing that looks good on this offense. I would argue Tajay Spears is a sell, to be honest. So like, because you got to think that
100%. You don't want him on your offense more than 1 year.
I don't want to meet the guy who's buying Tajay Spears. I don't even want to know him.
I almost did. Like on a rebuilder.
Don't get too far away from why we put Derrick Henry on this list, though, so we could piss people off. Derrick Henry's the real
that's
seller.
true. I will ask Hoove. I would love to know your thoughts on the gentleman you sold Tajay Spears to, and if he's somebody worth meeting. I just want to shout that out real quick. But anyways, yes, Derrick Henry. Back to it.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like
Juvenile
Tajay Spears looks all right. He looks all right, and he had great tape. It's just that I don't like running backs that get drafted by lame duck organizations. Yeah, that's just where I'm at with it, you know. And like, I don't know how this offense is going to get better. This team's going to get better, but to be honest, I didn't think the Colts were going to look as good as they were going to look. So shit happens, you know. Like, shit happens. Yeah. So like I don't mind people buying Tajay Spears, but I'm one that if someone is higher than me on Tajay Spears, I'm willing to click the button. I'm not super sure. I don't got diamond hands. But back to Derrick Henry, we were talking about all the shit we're talking about. Tajay Spears, Derrick Henry, he has the worst rushing yards over expected of his career. Like, and even if you look on film, if you watch a lot of Derrick Henry stuff that he would finish isn't the same. And I know, well, it's still Derrick Henry. He's making his money off of like one big play a game. And you know that that's going to go away at some point. You know, he's got that touchdown cologne. And again, this last game, Tajay Spears got more touches than him. Yeah, had better, right? Yeah. Like, he has more touches than him, more snaps. It was all off one direct snap play that Derrick Henry hit the cutback lane. And then he's still Derrick Henry enough that if you allow him 15 yards of steam, you are fucked. Like, that is like, your team is just fucked. I don't even think Cam Chancellor could have stopped that, you know, like Darnell Dawkins, that boy's going, you know. But again, Father Time, is Derrick Henry worth the second if you're a contender? Yeah. But
you better have to be this year, man, not the next two.
Yeah.
Not your way. Like this is the year.
Like to me, you got to squeeze them.
Yeah, the Titans have.
Here's
like you
a
said,
caveat for us. Here's a caveat for us. You know the Titans are going to fire sale this year. You know it's going to happen. Where does he land? I have an idea. If he lands in Dallas because they don't have a fucking good fucking goal line back, and he ends up with 16 touchdowns at the end of the fucking season and only like fucking 800 yards, I'm going to be over the moon if I had a contender with this guy on it. That would be worth a second all damn day long.
Justin, you telling me Tony Pollard's not the all-around back that everybody thought he was?
Oh, that's
Settle down there, Jerry Jones. Settle down.
Yeah.
What do you think about Derrick Henry to the Rams? That'd be interesting. Hey! Nice.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that's why you said it, Chuck.
To be honest, I'm not even going to argue Justin's point because that's why you asked for the first. Like before, I'm just like, I'm going to hold Derrick Henry, the wheels fall off. Now I'm seeing him wobble is what I'm saying. So I'm willing to click the button on a first now, but it has to be a first. A second, especially with running backs anymore. Go ahead, Chuck.
I will say the reason you're selling and or you're buying is because, Tony Pollard, how the hell did he get caught? Derrick Henry didn't get caught. And that might be something you might be able to weasel your way into, man. I don't know how Tony Pollard, I don't know if he's still recovering or what. How does he get caught? Derrick Henry still doesn't get caught, man. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Well, I think weight and size has something to do with it. Like, there's getting caught, and then Derrick Henry, like, they'll catch Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry is just like, get the fuck out of here, child's play. He just gives him a little swat.
One second, though. I want to elaborate on what Chuck said, because I was at the Vegas Patriots game, and did you guys see the play where Zeke brought it all the way into the end zone, but it was called back?
Yeah.
Zeke didn't get caught. Zeke
did not get caught.
How did Tony Pollard get caught, but Zeke didn't get caught?
Zeke looked great on that play.
Yeah, he did.
Zeke looked great all day. He's the only fucking bright spot from that game.
It's sad, man, because I'm holding the bag on some Ramondre because I was like, no, it's not enough. He's going to get volume and touchdowns. And I look like a dickhead with Ramondre Stevenson on a rebound.
Well, it's hard when they only have 3 total plays in the 5-yard line this year, and 2 of them came this past week. So,
I think that we got to tear the whole team down, but let's not devolve into it.
Yeah,
we're going to pay bills one more time, and then we're going to finish off with our last guy.
We'll have our own Patriots Bash episode someday.
Jazz, Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook, the world's best resource for all-purpose online wagering. For over 20 years, Jazz has provided the best and quickest payouts in sports and entertainment wagers. Live sports betting, covering all the major sports leagues, and even into the new and exciting world of esports. Down the stretch you'll come, with Jazz's online horse wagering. Get paid when you play with Jazz's fun and exciting online casino games. Go online now and use the promo code TSS for our new members deals. Jazz Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook, the world's best resource for online wagering.
Shaggy Tony Pollard.
No.
It was me. Dude, put that on a koozie. That would be a great one.
All right, this last guy is a rookie, and I know. This isn't sell high. This is sell why you can't, in my opinion. Sell why there's still people that believe, and they're like, "Well, he's supposed to be a project anyway." I just don't think he's good, guys. I'm not victory lapping. I'm just confirming a bias. Like it's, and I'm just saying he's had every opportunity. He doesn't look good. Anytime he tries to do his thing, he's like, well, they're going to throw him deep balls and he's going to be the Mike Williams role. Mike Williams still looks better in the Mike Williams role. I don't like Like he looks like a little child trying to pretend to be Mike Williams, and it it's like, oh, he almost got there. It's a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that.
No, you're not wrong, because nobody can fill the Mike Williams role, which is why he got the 3-year, $70 million contract that he got, is because nobody can fill the Mike Williams role, which makes why they drafted him all the more puzzling. I'm going to say something you're not allowed to say. I don't think Justin Herbert has been looking good. I'm not questioning his ability to play the football. I think he's still one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. That's going to be my hope for Quentin Johnson, is that there's something a little wrong with this offense, and I don't quite know what it is. Maybe it's a little recency bias from the game I just watched, but there's the piece. It's not like the path is perfectly aligning for Quentin Johnson. There's something wrong here. Maybe it is him, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's a lack of development, and he's just not earning the reps on the field. But I can't get that. Like, I'm like, it's gnawing at me. There's something, they're off, and it's off with all of the Chargers receivers, even a little bit of Keenan Allen.
Well, I think like and I believe it or not, I didn't watch that whole game. But from what I've heard from people that I respect, it's Justin Herbert. Like, it's not weird to say right now that I think it was Alfredo Brown. He said that he thought that Keenan Allen had 100 more yards left on the field, and it's not Keenan Allen that's the problem. Like, it's not Keenan Allen that's the problem. It's Justin Herbert. And like I've been on Justin Herbert's side, but he's making Emmanuel Acho look right, and that is like the fucking worst. Like, I don't like. Come on now, like I can see Emmanuel Acho, so it's Kellen Moore. No, it's Herbert.
I heard Kellen Moore tried to buy Tajay Spears recently.
Hey, he would.
That's what I heard.
I knew I never wanted to meet him.
I know Justin was a Quentin Johnson hater because Keely Ringo shut him down. He'll never let that
no talent.
Die.
No talent. Size is not talent.
So like, I don't think there's anyone here exactly. And like he had like an 8.71 RAS or something like that. So he's like no pun intended, he's relatively athletic. He's okay. He's modest. He's not bad, but like, again, he's not DK Metcalf. Like, DK Metcalf was doing some freak shit, so he can get away with not being like all right and taking time to develop. Quentin Johnson can't do any freak shit. And everyone's saying, well, none of you guys agree. Well, he's a wide receiver 41 right now. I would still take Jahan Dotson over Quentin Johnson, who's right around that range. I would take Deontay Johnson, who's after him. All right. Andrew, would you take Gabe Davis or Quentin Johnston?
I'd take Gabe Davis still.
Okay, Romeo Dubs or Quentin Johnston, Chuck?
Romeo Dubs. Pretty easily also.
See? All right, so like we're not there yet. Let's go down. All right, we got Jerry Jeudy. No one likes Jerry Jeudy right now. Let's just stop there. Michael Mayer. Would you take Michael Mayer?
I got
Michael
one for
Mayer.
Oh, Michael Mayer's interesting. And Justin, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this.
No, I got one for you. Michael Wilson or Quentin Johnston, Dynasty.
Michael Wilson. Without question.
Yep.
Quentin Johnston for ratings.
Yeah.
See, if you're selling Quentin Johnson, what are you expecting to get back from? Just a bag of balls? What do you think?
I
was hoping for a 4th round pick too, but
all these people I'm giving you guys are after Quentin Johnson right now. Daniel Jones is like way down this list after him, and I would take Daniel Jones, especially in super. And this is Superflex. I would take Daniel Jones over Quentin Johnson. I feel like shit about it. Daniel Jones sucks. Yeah. Marvin Mims is after Quentin Johnson on keep trade cut. Luke Musgrave, Tyler Lockett, Jaden Reed, Jalen Warren. So you could literally trade someone straight up that you would rather have and technically get like some mustard back, like a 4th rounder, like a fuck it pick. Like it's like again, granted, this is keep trade cut, but like what I've learned that these keep trade cut is a Bible for normies. Like it is, they look at that shit And like that is like we're too deep in the trenches, so we think it's weird. Keep trade cut is a reflection of the everyday regular folks, the nation's backbone. So
you know what's awful is that Quentin. This seemed weird to me. You're saying Quentin Johnson's the wide receiver 41 right now?
yeah,
Is that what you said?
yeah.
How is that possible when he's averaging 2 points a game?
No, I meant he's ranked. That's where.
Okay.
his
I was
dynasty
gonna say
ranking.
something seems wrong here. Okay.
Yeah, but like, thank you for bringing that up. That's an excellent point. Is like, why is he still the wide receiver 41 when Jaden Reed is already and Michael Wilson have already done much more? Like Michael Wilson has third round draft capital isn't nothing. That's not nothing. Like that's pretty good for a wide receiver. AJ Brown was a second rounder. Like these are like to me, it's day 3 for wide receivers where like you don't give a shit anymore. Like Xavier Hutchinson. Like I was like, he has good film, but like he might fucking suck. So it turns out he probably fucking sucks. So it's one of those things,
Yeah, you would have to. I would say if you're holding on, you're hoping that he's Brandon Ayuk, right? Which is to where it took like 4 or 5 games in. He was not barely getting it even in playtime, but he's in an offense that you trust. He's in an offense that you trust, and there are better players ahead of him. But over time, he's going to work his way into the rotation. If you're buying, that's the hope, and hopefully you can buy low. The buy window might never be lower. So I mean, I guess why not take a stab at it now in hopes? Because I mean, is the risk is that you're probably buying extremely low, and maybe it turns out to be N'Keal Harry. The reward is that he turns out to be
N'Keal Harry.
Henry Ruggs.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
Other reasons there. I'm just saying, if you're in a rebuild team, why not just take a shot at buying him for basically nothing and just seeing, because you're already rebuilding for a year or two anyways.
Yeah,
because he sucks, and you could buy at like to me.
Compared to offenses around the league, that's a better offense to be in than a lot of other wide receiver situations.
I guess to me, I'd still rather have Jaden Reed and Michael Wilson. Like,
I'm not disagreeing with you on those two examples, but if they're cheaper, then for sure,
yeah, just him isolated.
Yeah, just him isolated, exactly, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's weird. We went full circle where I said he's at sell, and then they're like, "Well, maybe you should buy him," and I'm like, I guess it's for the ratings.
Situationally.
Yeah. Thanks, Skip. No.
Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip.
Well, we're gonna. I guess that ends it today.
No, we got 3. We have one more guy to talk about, and I can't believe nobody brought him up, guys. Roger Goodell was signed to a 4-year extension through 2027. The commissioner who brought us all into the fantasy loving gentlemen we are of the community. How do we feel about this? I mean, obviously I know we feel great, but how great? Like streaking through the quad to the gymnasium great, or just a nice little quiet tweet great?
I forgot it happened. I read it and then I scrolled past it, and now we're here. And I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. So
yeah, it is what it is. It's fine. It wasn't gonna change. Like the owners are happy with what they're getting out of him, so they weren't gonna make a change.
Well, okay. How would you feel if the headline was Goodell not extended?
Happier than just fine for them being extended,
unbelievable.
but still pretty neutral. Like it's just, I think here's the thing. I think the NFL has become such a well-oiled money-making machine that whoever's face is up in that booth in the boxes at whatever game he chooses that week, that you can get mad at, it doesn't really matter.
Roger Goodell is single-handedly responsible for making sure the Saints did not go to the 2018 Super Bowl. That's something to be happy about. And I don't understand. I don't understand.
You're a Bucks fan.
That's right.
I don't understand the lack of jubilation here is astounding.
Like, I'm not going to allow this on the show. We're shoving past it. Andrew, we do have comments up here.
I know we do have do you talk about, because HoovTube has asked this question a couple times now. Do we need to get to it?
Yeah,
we do.
I
Yeah,
want to
we
talk
do.
about it. It's time.
Let's get to who's replacing Bill Belichick in 2024.
Let's get some
'Cause
real
who-
answers here because it's interesting.
Because Hoove is thinking that he could see him replacing McDaniel in Vegas and finishing his career out with Jimmy. I don't see that. I don't see Bill
I think he
going
retires.
anywhere. I think it's going home. I think it was Teddy Bruschi said it perfectly this week when they asked him, well, where does he go if he leaves New England? And he goes home. He goes home. Just take your bag and go home. And that's that. Because I know a team.
But that's not the
want him.
question. The
I know, it's
question
not
is
the question.
who replaces Bill
replaces them?
Belichick? Who
Ben
replaces
Johnson.
Bill Belichick? in New England?
Thank you, Chuck, for being the voice of reason throughout all the chaos.
You don't hear that
Ben
often.
Johnson.
I appreciate that.
I would love Ben Johnson to be the guy. I'm not sure it's
So
going to
Ben,
happen. Though.
so Ben
'Cause
Johnson
Ben
is
Johnson
the fun
can fix
answer.
Mac Jones.
I don't want him to fix
Yes,
Mac Jones. Take Mac Jones
if-
out too.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
they
want
give
him
him
to either. I'm just saying.
if they give
we- yeah.
if they give him GM capabilities, he can absolutely fix Mac Jones. I don't disagree with that whatsoever.
He fixed
It's
Goff.
It's Gerard Mayo, right? That's the plan.
So I think that was the plan, but I kind of feel like we are the team and the organization is entering such an abysmal state this season that I'm not sure they are going to stick to any plan they had. Like, I agree with you. I think Gerard Mayo 100% was the plan, and I was happy with it. But I'm not
even gonna
sure
put that
that
up.
they're going to stick with anything at this point. I know I won't put that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't put that up. Don't put that up at all. Like, that's I don't need sexy Cliff Kingsbury. Like, and I mean like I don't want that. Yeah, like Gerard Mayo, I agree. To me, I don't want more of the same. Because I don't want more of the like we're a hard-nosed team and then we're fine with just Devontae Parker and then the ghost of a mediocre Steelers receiver.
Out.
I want that
all
shit
of them.
gone. I want someone who's trying to win, who wants good players, who wants to draft talent. Like I will say, I love I love that we got Christian Gonzalez. Like he was solid there. But like to me, there was like 3 rounds where we could have gotten a solid fucking wide receiver, and we didn't do it. We got Kayshon Boutte, and then cool, we got
Appropriately
Douglas,
named.
who could be. Yeah, it's just like what the fuck are we doing, man? Like,
To me, there's only 3 guys on this team currently that I want back next year. Like without a doubt, want back, and it's Christian Gonzalez.
all on defense. It's all on defense.
It's Matthew Judon and it's Kendrick Bourne. I want those 3 guys back.
Bourne.
And that's it. I'm not saying Kendrick Bourne
him.
is untouchable. I'm just saying I would like him back next year.
Now, a friend of mine,
Yeah.
that was his long shot play of the week this last week, and he came out swinging. I'll say Bobby Slowick to New England, Bill Belichick to the Chargers.
The Chargers. That's not going to happen. We
Wow.
saw it.
No,
We just don't want to put Lincoln
Wow.
Riley up on the screen.
Why wouldn't it?
No, we're not doing
If
it.
If you can tell me why that wouldn't happen, I'll listen. But otherwise,
Well, luckily we're at time. So I am Jagger, also known as Fantasy Blue Chip. And then with me as always is what's your name? No, I'm just kidding. Syntax Max 93, Mr. Justin Herrera. You also know him as Fantasy Jesus, and he's over on our flagship show. And then with me also on another fantasy show on Sunday mornings, and host of This Guy Suck, Mr. Chuck Bass, and then the host of Divots and Pivots, and he's doing the Inside the Medical Tent. Did I get it right this week?
You did get it right this week. Inside the Medical Tent.
Fuck yeah. Inside the
Nice.
Medical Tent. It's Andrew, also known as Real Mr. Mallard. And you can see us every week. It is the Dynasty Hour that starts at 9:30. We'll see you next week, folks.